Iloilo City is well known for its culture, food, and being known as the City of Love. However, most people are unaware of the unique, awesome, and diverse activities, passions, and communities that inspired this big event called Unicon. These are their stories.
Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight.
Good day, I'm John from ILOILO Tekken League, one of the organizers for the Unicon Tekken 7 tournament. ILOILO Tekken League started way back in like May of 2013. It was inspired by league from Korea. It's called Cafe ID, I think. I can't remember the real name of that tournament, and and back in Korea that day. So ILOILO Tekken League was not necessarily a group, an official group, but it was more of a tournament league type. It's a tournament which has double round robin. So during that day, in 2013, the Tekken scene in Iloilo is kind of stagnant and dying. So we don't have any arcade scenes or game spot to play with. So I decided to consult my friends and other players if this type of tournament will be feasible enough to enhance or gather around players and to improve our local community here in Iloilo.
What's up, everyone? My name is Alex. I'm a member of the ILOILO Tekken League, and I'm also one of the organizers for its tournaments. And well, let me see. In regards to the ILOILO Tekken League, or ITL as we call it, it started about 4 years ago when my friend John decided to bring back some life into the community, because during that time it wasn't really as active as it used to be. Players were simply no longer interested. We rarely had any tournaments, and we just, I guess you can say it was because of a lack of competition that we decided to form this group, or I don't know if you can call it a group, more like a community of sorts. It got its inspiration from a Korean league called Cafe ID, or Cafe ID. It was comprised of some of Korea's top Tekken players who ran their own tournaments. They posted them on YouTube, and they even sponsored some players to go to international tournaments like EVO. And from there, we had a Facebook page made, ILOILO Tekken League. It started with about maybe 10 or so members. And then we hosted the very first ITL tournament season 1 with only 10 players. And once we got to season 2, we had about, I think, 10 players. And by season 3, we doubled that number so we had 20. And I guess you can say it was during the 3rd season that the community started to grow a bit, because we had more new players who were interested, and we soon had regular sessions at my house, well, before I moved, or at John's house. That's where some of the players used to go to whenever they wanted to practice or have some sessions. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, we've also hosted some tournaments in both ILOILO HobbyCons, the first HobbyCon, which was in 2013. It was held at Marymart Mall, and then the second one in 2015, which was at Robinson's Place, Iloilo, and that one had a pretty good turnout. We got to have our grand finals presented on the main stage. It was watched by a bunch of people, and even the ones who had no idea what Tekken was all about, they were cheering. Even the old guys, old people, you know, people old enough to be your great grandfathers were watching from high above Robinson's, and they were cheering because they were seeing some exciting stuff happening on screen, even though they had no idea what it was all about.
I started the ILOILO Tekken League by making a Facebook page, and me and my friends added some other active players to notify them that we will be having this league type tournament. So basically what happened, the first two ILOILO Tekken League tournaments were only composed of like 10 players each season, I think. So we had almost 3 seasons. First season I have 10 players, then secondly almost around 10, then the third one I think it was about 20. So basically I can say that the players have increased and have interest in the game during that time.
And right now, I can only say that the community is in a pretty good place, so compared to where it was back in 2013, and a huge part of that is because of how well Tekken 7 was marketed. Ever since its release, we've had a bunch of tournaments all over the world, especially here in the Philippines. I mean, within the first 2 months alone, we've had more than a dozen tournaments, I think, here in the Philippines for Tekken 7. Nationally, and here in Iloilo locally we had about maybe 3 or 4, correct me if I'm wrong. And we also have, I'd like to call a prodigy. He's currently 18 years old. He's been playing since 2015, and what impresses me the most about him is how fast or how quickly he was able to progress, because this is a game that takes an average of 2 years to become decent at. Okay, and keyword decent. But in a span of about 2.5 years, he's become, well, quite frankly, the community's top player.
So as of the moment, the ILOILO Tekken League has hosted about 3 ILOILO Tekken League seasons, 2 HobbyCon, and then the latest esports event here in Iloilo is Conquest. For now, Unicon is the next planned tournament we are looking forward to. This will be an amazing event for Ilonggos, not just for the ILOILO Tekken community, but for other gaming groups and people with unique hobbies and passions. With regards to us, the Tekken organizers, we are doing this tournament organizing thing like one tournament at a time mindset. We will be continuing to do it as long as we can manage to do so. Since we are now in the stage where we don't have the luxury of time and have our fair share of other responsibilities and priorities in our daily lives. So that in regard, we hope that other players will eventually pick up the slack from us when we can't do it anymore, and continue what we started for our local and humble Iloilo Tekken community. We do it for the game we love and the Iloilo Tekken community. The game is too good, and since Tekken 7 is now part of esports and being considered as a profession nowadays, we might be able to help and furnish our own local professional gamer here in Iloilo in the near future, hopefully. For those who are interested to play against us, with us, join the group, to have more contacts, strategies, and players to play with, you can just personally PM me at Facebook. Just search John Hamayo and other players that we have. So if you want to play, we have our local gaming spot in Marymart at High Gear Amusement. Shoutouts to High Gear, to Mr. Carlo Borromeo.
And as for the future of the community, I will continue to help any players. Along with John, we will both continue to help any players who want to learn how to play the game or want to become a part of the community. You can shoot him a message on Facebook, or me, Alex Abaygar, if you want to join the Facebook group. And if you just want to know more about the players, want to practice, want to join sessions, or just talk about Tekken. As for the future of ITL, well, if there are any more tournaments to be held besides the one we're going to have during Unicon next year, I'll be sure to lend my hand. I'll try to help out as much as I can to the best of my abilities. And as for me, Unicon, well, I look at it as something where hobbyists and community members can display their passions on a much grander scale and give exposure to their respective communities. And I'm hoping that the first Unicon will be the start of something great for Iloilo. From a personal standpoint, as a Tekken player, I'm also hoping that we can help develop someone who can potentially become the very first Ilonggo Tekken player to be sponsored. That's one of our goals right now.
To me, Unicon is the gathering of unique individuals sharing and expressing their own simple world to the universe.
Well, anyways, if you guys have any questions about Tekken, just be sure to join our group. Shoot me a message, Alex Abaygar once again. And also, if you want to play, go to High Gear Amusement at Marymart. There are usually players there during the afternoon. It's 6 pesos for one game. It's worth it. And shout outs to Mr. Carlo Anton Borromeo for helping the community. We wouldn't have been able to do as much without your help, sir. Anyways, that's it, I guess. Peace.